Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of the Boerne Brew here on Boerne Radio, 103.9 FM and 1500 AM. And you can also listen on the Boerne Star and Boerne Radio websites. I'm the host of today's show. I am the sports editor of the Boerne Star. My name's Kerry Barboza. And joining us on today's show is Leighann Goode, national champion Leighann Goode from the University of Texas softball team. Longhorns just won the national title a few weeks ago at the College World Series. Leanne, thanks for joining us on the show.
Yes, of course. I'm excited to be here.
Well, it's been a busy summer for you. I know you're doing camps, you're giving lessons later on. So what's the summer been like for you? It sounds like it's been pretty full for you.
Yeah, after winning the championship, it took about a week for all of us girls to kind of settle in and get back to real life, But I did summer ball right after ending the championship. So just been doing summer ball, giving back to the community as far as lessons and camps. But that's what I've been consisting of is softball so far.
So I'm sure when you win a national title, I'm still trying to win my fantasy football league, but anyway, you won a national title. So I know emotionally you're probably on cloud nine, that type of thing. It's been about a month, like you said. Are you still on cloud nine, or have you come down a few levels on the clouds there?
I think I've come down a few levels, but that doesn't take away from the fact that I still watch videos. I mean, I go back and watch all of our home runs and just all the celebrations, and I still get chills watching videos on Instagram and stuff. So it's still pretty crazy.
Has it settled down at all? Because I know, like you said, you guys were after, there was all kinds of autograph sessions, public appearances, the ceremony at the field the next day after you'd won it. Has it settled down at all?
I would say we're doing still a lot of appearances. I know the Houston Astros did one for us and honored us before a game at the field, and then the ASUL just did us at their game this past weekend at the Round Rock Series between the Bandits and the Bolts. So I think we're still doing a lot of appearances and getting recognized, which is huge for women's sports.
Well, has it worn you out? Were you just kind of ready for a break, just kind of worn out from everything, all the celebrating?
No, honestly, I do like when the camera finds me. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to get in front of the camera. But, I mean, I think we're all just really happy and just really soaking it in. I mean, we're the first to do it. So just really soaking it in and not taking it for granted.
So how many interviews have you done since then? I know I saw you on ESPN a couple times after and during the series with Texas Tech, and I know the Statesman did an article on you in Austin there. But how many interviews have you done? Any idea how many you've done since the whole thing's happened?
I would say probably a handful. I mean, not too overbearing, but again, I've done a lot of stuff through like San Antonio and just a lot of articles through there, and just like really big for, I would say, my hometown. I give a lot of credit back to like the fans back at San Antonio, so it's huge.
That is Leighann Goode joining us here on the Boerne Brew. She is part of the Texas Longhorns National Championship softball team. I know the team gets a national championship trophy, and each player gets a little replica of the trophy. And I'm sure you're going to get a ring. When are all those things like the ring and all that, the ring ceremony going to be? Have they said that to you guys yet?
They have not, but just from past rings, like when we won the Big 12, when we won it years ago, it came in kind of like in the fall. And so it gave them the summer to kind of make the rings and put it how we wanted it. So I would say probably in the fall.
And where is your championship trophy, the little one that you get, the replica?
My little one is up in my room in Austin, right where I can see it, just right on my vanity right next to the window. So it's where I can see it all the time.
And when you look at it, what do you think? What goes through your mind when you look at that trophy? We did it?
Not just that we did it, but we were like the first team to do it. And with that group of girls, it's just really special.
That is Leighann Goode joining us here on the Boerne Brew. She was part of the Texas National Championship team. She had a 3-run home run in the clinching Game 3. So let's go back to your playoff run. I know you guys hosted, after the regular season, you guys hosted a regional. There was 4 teams there. Michigan was one. I don't remember the other teams, but I just remember that weekend was really, really hot. That was the excessive heat warning. And did you feel like the heat was bothering some of those other teams that were there? Especially someone like Michigan, where it's kind of a cooler temperature for the most part at that time of year. Did you feel the heat was getting to the other teams there?
I mean, possibly, but I think as a university and a team, we did a good job of constantly having accommodations, just leaving a lot of water out, a lot of water towels, and then allowing them to use our ice bath and everything like that. So just being accommodating to like all the teams to making sure that they get the same amount of cooling stuff that we did. But I think heat was definitely a huge factor. I mean, even for some of us, it was one of the true first like hot weekends there.
Yeah, it was really hot. So you win that one, you go to the Super Regional, you get to host it, you play Clemson, the winner goes to the College World Series. That first game with Clemson, it goes into weather delay, and what was interesting is that Boerne champion baseball team was playing in Austin that same night, same as your game one, and they played at Concordia Lutheran, but they got their game in because they started at 6 o'clock, so by the time the bad weather came in, they were done. But your game started late. I think it was like 10, 11 o'clock when it started. What time did it start? Do you remember offhand?
I think you're about right. It was close to 11 o'clock that night.
Yeah, and Clemson wins. So what was it, just the weather delay? Did that affect you guys? Is that why you lost, or was it just a bad game, or did Clemson just play that well?
Clemson's a great ball club, and I think if you look back at their stats and their achievements, I think they had the best ERA as a pitching staff this year, so an accomplishment and kudos to them. But us Longhorns were known for losing the first game. I mean, you go back to the 22 season when they lost the first one to Arkansas, but they came back and won the two. And then when we lost the first one to A&M last year and came back and won the two. So I guess we just like to do it the hard way. But, you know, I think we're always taught to learn to fight with our backs against the wall. And I think we did a good job of showing that and how we came together and banded for those last two games.
Yeah, and then you take game two, like you said, force a game three, Saturday night in Austin. I was actually at that game. I think y'all won, I don't know, it was by a run or two. It was pretty close, but you guys got it done. And then you go to the College World Series. One of the games was against Oklahoma. Now, in the regular season, you played them. They took all three games, but at the World Series, you beat them 4-2. So they had your number in the regular seasons, but what was the difference between the regular season and the playoffs? How were you able to beat them this time versus the other three?
I just think knowing as like a mindset that we have is no one cares what happens in the regular season, and postseason is a completely new season. So thinking you don't have a record against any team, you don't have stats against any team, you're going in there with a clean slate. And we just went in there with an open mind, and we knew who we were going to get on the other side as a pitching staff. So being able to prepare for that game with a new mindset was a game changer.
Yeah, and then you faced Texas Tech, of course, to the finals. But before that, you beat Florida. You beat, of course, OU. You beat Tennessee. They're all SEC teams, by the way. And then you faced former Big 12 foe Texas Tech. And Tech, of course, has Nigeri Kennedy, the first $1 million pitcher, NIL deal in NCAA history. She was very good, but you guys win game one. Tech takes game two, and it goes to a game three. Was it game one where this might be a sore subject with you? They called the interference on you at second base. Was that game one where that happened?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and I could tell you were not very happy with that call. I could tell.
Yeah, I think, I was caught on camera a little bit, but you're correct.
So I know they said that your 1 foot was in the path, but so what did the coach say about that ruling and about how they enforced the rule? What was the main message by him after that?
I mean, obviously, as a team and a coaching staff, we didn't agree with it, but at the end of the day, we can't go back and change the call. So just thinking about moving forward and what I can do to help the team following that. And obviously, I got the speech of that, like, that wasn't my fault and that you were just playing the ball and playing where the ball took you. So, I mean, just learning from it and not letting it judge my emotions. Obviously, I think we all saw that I was upset, but I mean, just channeling those emotions to then try to help my team afterwards.
Was it hard to shake off? Because, you know, when they would show you, you were shaking your head, like you obviously disagreed. Was it hard to shake off that one? I know that's the mindset, just let's shake it off, get ready for the next play, but was it hard to shake off, especially that one?
Yeah, I think that one especially just because, I mean, you're playing for a national championship, and they always say the first one is the best to get. Obviously, you're at an advantage winning game one, but and just at that point in time, I believe it was the 6th inning, and that run then came around to score to put them ahead 1-0. So I think just thinking of the events that followed it and what could have changed the game, yeah, that one was a little hard to shake off.
Yeah, and nobody that I talked to about that agreed with that call. I was at a baseball camp the next day at Boerne, and I didn't even mention it. They brought it up, and they said, hey, did you see that game? And they were talking about it. And I said, yeah, what a horrible call. So I think a lot of us that watched it agreed with you and that it was just a bad call. And even the announcers made it sound like they kind of really need to revisit that rule because she was out by a mile, and then they just called you for interference because you had your foot basically on the base path. You guys win the game anyway. I think that's where your catcher hit the ball with 3 balls, right? Was that the game where they were trying to walk her and it seemed like Kennedy didn't know how to walk her?
Yes, that was that game.
Anyway, so you win game 1, they win game 2, goes to a game 3. You guys been there before with the pressure, but Kennedy didn't even make it out. Well, she made it out of the first inning, but she just seemed tired. Could you kind of sense that out there, especially as hard as she throws, that she was a little tired, or what was going on out there?
Yeah, I mean, we can all sense it, but knowing from like our pitchers too, and I mean, Tegan had won herself a heck of a World Series too, and just knowing, I mean, probably how tired her arm was too. I mean, Kennedy throwing all 3 games, I mean, you can sense it, but it still didn't take away from the fact that she is who she is. So we still had that respect out there, even if we knew she was tired.
So what was she missing? Was she missing her location? Was her speed off? Where were you able to get to her like that? What was off for her that particular inning?
I think obviously just going back to that being her 3rd game and us having a game plan and just talking the night before and just having the mindset that no one's going to beat us 3 times and still giving her where credit's due. But I think just as a hitting program, we just had a different mindset going into it that we're not going to get beat a 3rd time.
And you guys are up 2-0 in that first inning. You come up to bat. You have 2 runners on. And I believe the first pitch she threw you is the one you hit out. Wasn't it the first pitch?
Yes.
What did she throw you? Any idea?
Looking back at it, it looks like her best pitch, so high and in on a righty, is her big heat zone for a right-handed hitter, so up and in.
Okay, so like a rise ball. Is that what it was, basically?
Yes.
And then you timed it perfect, smacked it right over center field. When you hit it, did you kind of know it was gone? Because it was kind of a line drive, but how did you feel when it left the bat?
I knew I had a base hit there. I knew I was scoring some runs. I didn't want to get too excited and think it was over off the bat. But, I mean, when I kept watching, as I kept running down first, I knew it was going. Okay. So.
Yeah, and I know they chased the home runs down at the World Series. They gave it to your mom. Where's that ball? Because I'm sure your mom has it somewhere.
Yes, it is sitting on our kitchen table at home, front and center, with all the cute little dining pieces she has. So it's front and center with everything.
So you're running around the bases. You've hit a 3-run shot. It's 5-0 now. To me, the game is basically over with the pitching staff that you guys had, but we know it's not. You can't play like it, but you're running around the bases, and it really looked like you were floating around the bases. And you were saying something as you were running. What were you saying out loud? I think you're saying, oh, my gosh, or something like that.
Yes, I definitely was saying, oh, my gosh. As a personal accomplishment, it was my first Women's College World Series home run. So I just had chills through my body, and I was just kind of like, I can't believe I just did that in this type of game. I think I was just still pretty shocked.
Yeah, you were smiling all the way around the bases. Probably a silly question. Is that the sweetest home run of your career? That's probably a silly question to even ask that.
Yes, it is. It is.
That is a silly question, or that is the sweetest home run?
No,
or
that
both?
Is my sweetest home run. I think that's a very good question because I've had a couple where I've like, that's definitely the best thing, but that one definitely tops it.
And I know the other day, the World Series, ESPN had a repeat, and I don't know if they played all 3, but I saw Game 2 and Game 3 on, and they came out late. It was like 9, 10 o'clock. So Game 3, I watched that first inning because that was the deciding, your home run and then the 2-run lead and then just the way y'all played. But you said you've gone back and watched. Have you watched like the whole series, or how much of the playoffs have you watched at this point?
Yeah, I think I went back on our own film stuff and just like not really just playing it all the way through ESPN, but through our own film stuff and just breaking down stuff. And I would say I watched a good chunk of each game. I don't think I've gone through like a whole game, but I've definitely gone through a good chunk of each. And
is that something you think you'll do the rest of the summer just to kind of relive that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, talking to like a bunch of my friends and all of our teammates, I mean, they're doing the same things. They're like, dude, I still watch those videos as well. I thought I was the only one, and I was like, no, I still watch them before I go to bed sometimes.
That's awesome. And that's a great memory you're always going to have. That is Leighann Goode joining us here on the Boerne Brew. She's part of the national championship Texas Longhorns softball team. So the seventh inning of that game, you guys are up. Looked like you might run rule them. They kind of hung tough there and avoided the run rule, but it goes to the seventh inning. You guys have a big lead. I think you won by 8 or 9 runs, whatever it was. Anyway, so it goes to the seventh inning. There's 2 outs. You have the final out. They hit a grounder to you at shortstop. You backhand it. And what was the first emotion that went through your mind when you made that throw and got that last out?
Yeah, so after obviously watching my throw and it was going actually straight to Jolie and being a good throw, I mean, just excitement. I was ready to throw my glove in the air and just hug the teammate that was closest to me. And obviously it turned into our little dog pile we had with Reese and Tegan. But, I mean, just surrounding Tegan and the World Series she had and all that she went through there. And so I just had such excitement, ready to throw my glove in the air.
Yeah, the dog pile was around the pitcher's circle, basically. It was, like you said, that started those two, Reese and Tegan, and then everyone kind of jumped on. Nobody got hurt, right, in the dog pile?
No, nobody got hurt. We made sure that we went down nice and light.
Nobody stepped on anybody with their spikes or anything like that, right? That's good.
I don't think so. No one complained of a hurt toenail or anything, so I think we're good.
I saw on the newscast a couple of days later, I think it was Don Harris, Channel 4, he said 2 million people watched that game, Game 3, and it was the highest-rated College World Series game, I think, in history. So 2 million people saw you hit that homer. What does that mean to you as far as the number of people that watched that game? Is that kind of a testament to how softball's really grown the last few years?
Yeah, it's a huge testament, just how many people are starting to dive into women's sports and not only just softball, but I mean, WNBA and all of the above. But I mean, women's softball is growing, and especially with the ASLU League, I mean, we saw that they had a record-breaking attendance at the Round Rock Series this past weekend. So, I mean, it's just from college sports leaking into pro. It's awesome.
Yeah, 2 million people. That's a pretty good audience. So you mentioned Tegan Cavan, your pitcher. What can you say about her? We know she lost her grandmother at some point during the World Series, but she still wanted to pitch. The coach gave her the option, I think, if she wanted to sit out. Did that surprise you that she wanted the ball in her hand and wanted to go at it?
Tegan being my roommate, I know Tegan pretty good and on a different level, and she exemplifies what it means to be a Longhorn, and so I knew she would want the ball in her hand. And just the resilience and wanting to win it for us. And even though that just happened and she knew that we had her back. And so she's just the pure exemplify of what it means to be a Longhorn.
I know she texted you that morning, or she texted the team to let everybody know that her grandmother had passed. And I know her grandma was a big fan and would record the games and watch them. And that's why she got her number 17, because I think it was her grandmother's favorite number or something like that. So when you saw that text that morning from Tegan letting you know that her grandmother had passed, what was the first thought that you had at that time?
I mean, obviously just really feeling for Tegan and the family. And I had the pleasure of meeting her grandma, Miney, at one of our games that we played up north where she was able to attend, and just knowing how sweet and kind of a soul she was and how big of a fan she was to us. But I mean, we had a team meeting right after she sent that just to come together as a team and come in a circle and just let Tegan know that we have her, and allow Tegan and let her know that it's okay to be upset and that we're still going to win this for her. And I mean, in our games, you saw a couple of us were wearing some black ribbon for Miney, which I believe is her favorite color. So we wanted to wear black for her. So just we carried her throughout the whole experience.
Now, I know your mom, after you hit that home run in Game 3, they showed her getting the home run ball. How many of your family members made it out, and friends? How many made the trip out there to watch the whole thing?
My mom and dad, of course, and then my old hitting coach was there, and that's all that was able to make it out from family. But I had a couple of family friends come that I was able to get on the pass list, and I know my brothers were watching on the TV for me. Unfortunately, work is a thing, so they weren't able to make it. But, I mean, I know they were all watching, so I had a good fan base there and on TV.
Well, I was at a watch party, and there's somebody's house. There's probably about 10 of us there, and so the place was rocking that night when you guys won it all. So you've got a state title at O'Connor, now national championship at Texas. How do they compare to each other? Are they just totally different, or are they both mean the same? Or when you think of each one, how do you think about it in your mind?
I mean, if you really do think of each one, we were the first to win it at O'Connor also, and then we're the first to win it at Texas. So, I mean, for doing side by side. I mean, they're both really special and did it with such a good group of seniors at O'Connor, and then so special to finally get our grandma as a group, Jolie Mitchell, her championship on her 6th year. So, I mean, they're both special, and I won both of the championships on such different levels. I mean, we won our state title on a walk-off walk, and then our championship with the Longhorns, it just ended so much different. So they both have special memory.
You played this summer, and I think you were playing in Austin is what I heard. So what was that like to play this summer? Was there big crowds because you guys, had won? And how did that work out as far as the summer league for you?
Yeah, the summer league is just a great opportunity. I mean, just to still stay consistent and in shape with at-bats and stuff. But, I mean, there is good crowds. I mean, there's plenty of little girls there for us, and everyone just getting the opportunity to still play and fall back in love with the game, whatever reason it is that you're out there playing. But I just love getting the opportunity to meet new girls and from new schools. I think it's just such a neat opportunity.
Did a lot of the girls on the team play, the Texas team? Were a lot of them doing summer league? I read somewhere that Tegan was doing an internship or something like that.
Yeah, Tegan and Reese, I believe, did the Colorado, Canada experience where they go play up there. And then Katie Bennett was actually on my summer team. And then our transfer, Brinley Gonzalez, the pitcher, she was also on my summer team. So I would say a good chunk of us were playing.
Good to stay in shape as far as the timing of it all. And I know last year you were coming off surgery on your wrist. How's that going? Did the wrist bother you at all this year, or is it pretty much just behind you now at this point?
Yeah, I would say it's getting put behind me. Obviously, there's still some tweaks here and there, but that's how injuries go, But our training staff is amazing, and just what they can do for us and allowing us to rehab the way we can rehab and all the treatment stuff we have to offer. So I would say I'm getting it put behind me for good.
How many years eligibility left? I think you have one, right?
Yes, I'm going to be a senior.
Where did the time go, right?
I have no idea because they weren't lying when they said that it goes by in a blink of an eye.
Well, your mom played at UTSA, so she knows. Well, you mentioned there's interest in softball now around the country. Athletes Unlimited has started a professional league. When you're done next year, is that something you'd be interested in doing, or after next year, are you done?
No, it's definitely something I'm looking into, and just beginning to play with my old teammates again. So that's definitely something I have an interest in.
I don't know how many, was it 4 teams, 8 teams this year? It's kind of started limited, but I'm sure there's plans to expand it, right?
Yes, I think I heard a little rumor that it's supposed to expand to 6 teams next year, so adding 2 more.
Yeah, so it's at 4. And I know a lot of Texas players played, right? Some of the teammates from this past June played, right?
Yes.
I was going to ask you about the game. After every pitch, you walk up towards the pitcher. You don't make it all the way to the circle, but you tell her something. What do you tell her, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, of course. As a defense, we just came together and decided that we needed to communicate more and have our pitcher feel us behind them, because I'm sure as a pitcher on that kind of stage with that many fans, you feel kind of like alone on an island if you don't have people talking to you and stuff. So personally, I would just go up and tell Tegan, Mac, whoever was on the mound, like, hey, you got this. I'm here. Get us a pitch. You have 2 outs here. Sometimes I'm even like, you're better than her. Like, go do it. Like, if she's behind in a count, I'm telling her, I'm like, you're better. Like, you can go do this. And we're all here. Just a bunch of encouraging things for the pitchers to hear.
I think I noticed that you wear goggles on the field, but not at bat. Do I have that correct?
Yes.
What do the goggles do for you on the field, and why don't you wear them when you bat?
It's really silly, but my glasses kind of feel like a face mask for me out on the field. So if I feel like I don't have my glasses, I feel just very weird without my glasses on my face out there. So no matter the time of the day it is, I'll have it out when it's super sunny, or if it's at night, they're always on. I have my special lenses that change to the light and darkness for that reason. And just when I'm up to bat, I've never really had them up there. But it's definitely a superstition thing out on the field to keep them on.
And you just got to be comfortable right out there, and it seems to kind of put you at ease. What other pregame rituals do you have? Some girls, they write in the sand. Some don't step on the chalk lines. I mean, is there any pregame thing that you have that you do every game?
Yeah, I have a lot of superstitions within myself. Having the same hairstyle, making sure my ponytail's the same one I used the day before. And I had this throughout the World Series. I had a mini little Jesus charm that I had in my back pocket. throughout the whole time. And that was a ritual to kind of take it out of my backpack and just go into the back of the dugout and just kind of talk to myself and telling myself that I'm meant to be here and I'm meant to do it with this team, and just having that in my back pocket. And obviously a pregame ritual, I always warm up with my dear friend Katie Stewart, was always my throwing partner. So making sure I was always warming up with her.
Well, I know you guys bring back good nucleus next year. Atwood, Tegan's back. Kevon, you're back. I know some graduated, but you're going to bring back a good nucleus. So y'all talking about repeat? Do y'all just wait until the season starts, or what's your mindset about trying to defend the title?
Yeah, I think it's always on your mind when you win one, and then just thinking about a repeat, but just staying within the controllables and just starting fresh from the beginning. Obviously, starting off with a good preseason and then having a goal of winning the SEC, and then moving on from there, trying not to get it too ahead of ourselves and jump too far.
A national title is something you're always going to remember. What are you most proud of, and what's your best memory of winning this national title?
I think just growing throughout the whole experience, I think I really grew what it means like to be like a leader and really be a team player out there. I mean, regardless of how the game goes, there's 8 other girls out there on the field for you and are there to have your back. So regardless if it's your game or not, I think it just really grew as a player and a person, just what it means to be in that leadership role. And I think it's really important for me as I'm going into my senior year.
Well, that is Leighann Goode, national champion, member of the Texas Longhorns softball team. Leanne, congratulations. Just want to thank you for taking out the time to come out on the show. And once again, congratulations, and wish you great success next year as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you out there for listening to the Boerne Brew. We'll talk to you next time.